We are planning to pull our kids out of public school next year. We live in an area where there are no Christian schools. Could you please recommend an online Christian school? We have heard about Liberty University, Pathways, and Ignite. Are you familiar with their online programs?
Yeah, Jessica, I don't know how old your children are, but I think you're wise to pull your kids out of the government school. In Arkansas, though, you have a good governor who, as best I can tell, is born again like her dad, Mike Huckabee. I know he is. He's actually preached in the pulpit here at Community Bible Church, and she's trying to turn things around for good. But let's face it, even if they could put parameters in place for what teachers can teach, the fact is the Bible teaches is that those who walk with the wise become wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm. And so kids today, they have the little smartphones, their computer in hand. They've got TikTok. They've got pornography on the internet. It's everywhere. And so to put your children in that kind of an environment 24/7 is really going to potentially be disastrous. So let me commend you. You're smart. Listen, as a general rule, and what I would say to you as you've called from Arkansas would be to go to searchthescriptures.org and up in the search bar type in home education, and you'll see the most recent 2023 home education seminar. I do it once a year. When my wife and I came to Beaufort, South Carolina in 1990, there was only 2 families in the whole county who were homeschooling. And so when we came and we homeschooled, people were like super curious, like, what is this all about? And so I found myself answering questions all the time. And so I said, I don't have time 24/7 to set up appointments. Let's do it all at once. And so we started a home education seminar. We've had over 3,000 families go through that seminar in the last 3 decades. They'll come from Georgia, South Carolina. We put it online every year, and it walks you through the history of education. It walks you through alternatives to the government school system, because as a general rule, I would say that if you put your kids from kindergarten through high school in the government school system and you expect to turn out a godly product, it typically is not going to happen. Now, I know there are some single mothers, so we've had single mothers who have home educated their children, but seemingly some who have no other choice, and God somehow meets them. But you don't want to go against the principles of Scripture, which is what the government school system is dictating. Look, they've got kids questioning their genders. And again, even in some states where they're not allowed to address that issue, the kids are addressing the issue, because this is what's being hammered into their heads, some of them in the churches they attend. And so pull them out, and you have 3 alternatives, basically. You have the Christian school that is unaffordable for most people today, unless your husband just makes a lot of money and you have multiple children. It's not an option for a lot of kids, a lot of families today, when you have to come up with $5, $10, $15, $20,000 a child. That's a lot of money for the average family to produce. And you certainly don't want to come out with debt in your hand. So you can homeschool, home educate, and home education can be done entirely at your home, which is what we did with our 5 children. When we were raising them, we didn't really have all the internet tools that are available. So there's some really wonderful things that have been made. Though we did do a few things, like sometimes you would get 5 or 6 mothers together, and someone who maybe had a specialty, say, in writing, would do a small section of the English course, say, for a high school class in writing. Or maybe someone would do a physical science class in middle school, and they would pull resources together. So more and more, that basically has blossomed into these schools that have some kind of a blended way of approaching home education. We even do that at Community Bible Church Christian Academy. We created Academy, an umbrella in which people could educate their children. They have to be a member of Community Bible Church for it to happen, and there's legal reasons behind that for the protection of our children. But lay that aside. Some of the families elect to come once a week to the campus here, and they sit under classes with teachers, and then they take their homework home and they work on it during the week. So there's a lot of different approaches you can take. There's everything from you can buy a box that has everything in it. It tends to be a little more costly, right down to the crayons for a kindergartner or the whatever it is you need. And it's everything from A to Z. Most of those programs typically have been constructed from Christian publishers who wanted to take the material that they've used in the Christian school setting and integrate them into the homeschool environment. Not necessarily bad. Anything is better, Jessica, than the government school system. But I think if you will watch that seminar, it's going to walk you through all the various options that you have, and it will get right down to how do I get started, what are the legal ramifications, and there's a map that you can click on. It will show you Arkansas, and it will give you the statutes because it's different in different states in terms of what you need to do to be compliant. Or you might even consider attending our home education seminar. We live stream it, and it will be coming up in June of 2024 if the Lord hasn't come.
Dr. Carl Broggi answers your questions about the Bible and living the Christian life Tuesday mornings at 11 on The Light 88.7 FM and online around the world at WAGP.net.